Hey everybody, how's it going? We're here with a timeless reading. Welcome. The first card that we have out is Page of Cups and also Ace of Wands. I'm seeing Four of Swords as well. And Strength. There may be something... Page of Cups is feeling like something small that you may be connected to, and you may want to have an opportunity for this to grow. So this can be like a feeling, this can be an inspired idea, this can be something that you feel is motivating you or calling to you, or like even a little spark of something. A spark of interest or intrigue, anything like that. Ace of Wands feels like I want to give this a proper opportunity to see what it can turn into. So you start off with something tiny, but that's palpable, that you feel connected to, connected with. Like you have feelings for this direction or for this thing or for this person or for this purpose or activity, something like that. Ace of Wands is like, I want to water this thing and see if it grows. I'm seeing Four of Swords here, which can mean that there may be time that you're taking away from other things in order to give it to this. Like you could be taking a break in order to tend to this. And Strength means that it's important for you to get into this space in order to give this attention. But it may not feel like it's an easy thing to do. But I'm seeing that it's going to help you with what this is that you may feel it's time to focus on. This can be like something creative as well with Page of Cups here. You're already inspired to go in this direction. This may have just been something on the back burner, though. Seems like you're going to give it the time of day now. The name Julian is coming through, or J-U-L. I'm also seeing Aquarius here. So we have Leo, we have Aquarius. There's something that's a dream of yours to pursue, or something that you're interested in, or something that... To have the Star and to have Page of Wands, this is something that you think about where you're like, I would like to do this in the future, or like a month ago I was thinking about how I'd like to pursue this, or years ago I was thinking about how I'd like to pursue this. And it's something that would feel very fitting for you to be pursuing this particular type of path. With the Page of Cups though, I get that it feels like a seed that you have, that you know if you watered it, like something could happen. It feels like a very abundant seed that you have, but for whatever else it is that you have going on, like maybe you didn't have the energy to be watering this particular thing. Now I'm seeing that if you do, you may need to pull back from something else, because I'm seeing Four of Swords here. So this can mean that it's time to focus on this and pull this to the front and water this, like prioritize this more than anything. It's something that you feel inspired to do. So this is something that it would not feel like a job for you to be doing this. This is something where you naturally feel pulled in this direction. This can be something that you do in your downtime, or you're making more room to actually be able to pay attention to this and give this your energy. To have it be Page of Wands connected with the Star, this is something that you feel like would be purpose-driven or inspiration-driven, but there can be a part of you that feels worried about something. Like maybe if I pursue this, like nothing's going to come of it, or like what if it doesn't turn out well, like that sort of thing, or what if I don't have what I need in order to do this or to focus on this or participate in this, that type of thing. You can feel like there's a lack of support as well. But this may just be a lack of you actually supporting yourself and this thing that you feel interested in pursuing. It looks like in your heart you already know that you're meant to be going in this direction, but it can be something that your ego is like giving you a bit of challenge with or about. I'm getting the letter CAL coming through. I'm seeing something about, it reminds me of like a body of water that you would do white water rafting on. It's something that's like kind of rough, like a river sort of thing. And I'm seeing stuff about a waterfall, but I'm also hearing rainfall and I'm hearing windfall as well. From what I'm seeing, if you could wipe away any type of like obligations that you have and things that you're doing based off of obligation and just like put that away separately from this, and you take this in a concentrated form, this is something that it would be like fun for you to do. You would feel naturally called in this direction. So there's no element of obligation here. This is something where you're like, I'm just organically interested in this, or it's something that I like to do in my free time, but I feel like you haven't had as much free time lately, or you haven't had the energy to be putting into this because you have other stuff going on. I'm seeing something about a gold tooth here. So there's lots of stuff that's been happening. This feels like it may not be easy for you to take the time to do this, but I'm seeing you be guided to focus on this, to spend time focusing on this right now, in whatever way this is necessary to do. And that may mean that you need to pull back from something because you're going to allot that energy into this thing over here. So it's like a deliberate switch of sort of where you're putting your energy, where you're investing your energy. But it's something that, like, it would make you happy to be spending your time doing this. This is also something that you feel would actually be energizing to you. So you wouldn't even feel, like, for example, say there's something that you need to do, and like before you do this thing, it's like, I need to make sure that I have coffee or like whatever else it is, like ritualistic, that you feel like you need to get into the space to do something and like try to really find and tap into that inspiration. This feels like something that like you would naturally be moved in this direction. You don't feel like you have to do this whole big setup before getting into it, you know? Like you don't need to necessarily self-motivate in order for you to do this. This feels like something where you're like, no, I would like naturally look forward to doing this type of thing, because I'm seeing it be, it's something you feel inspired to do. Having this star here feels like this is purpose driven. So I feel like a natural inclination to move in this direction, and not out of obligation. It's out of like pure interest and inspiration. And to have the sun here, this is something that feels revitalizing to me. So it's inspiring. It feels like creative in some type of way. And I get to express myself in a way that I enjoy expressing myself. But there can also be some feelings. I'm getting CAL again. There can be feelings that are connected with this that can have to do with like your belief systems around self-expression, and maybe something that you feel like wouldn't be supported or wouldn't be understood or something like that. Whether this be like emotionally or other. But this is something that you would, a way that you would want to show, yeah, that's what I'm seeing here. This can be like, I feel insecure about putting like my creativity out there. I feel insecure about being seen. Like this is something that I feel very sensitive about, or that really matters a lot to me. But it can be, because it's Page of Cups, it can be like, I just be starting out doing this. So like, what if other people judge me? Like, what are other people gonna think? But it feels like needing to pull this back inwards towards yourself and just like stay in your own lane. Because when you're like, instead of like looking ahead at where you're going, you may be like looking around here and looking over there and just like minding everybody else's business when it comes to the concerns of your ego. But this is about you moving through it. I'm seeing anxiety that's specifically associated with you putting yourself out there in a vulnerable way. But this is your guides being like, you can feel that way and you can still move through this. You can feel that way where it's like, this feels very uncomfortable for me, and you can still choose to express yourself. So this feels very much linked to that. I'm seeing a lot of energy that's related to like 5th house Leo, which is about creative expression. It's about showing up in a way that feels inspiring to you. It's something that feels fun for you too. And to also have the star here, which is associated with Aquarius. This is you expressing yourself in a way that feels authentic, in a way that feels organic. So this isn't you being like, I'm going to show up and express myself how like other people think I should, or how I think other people are going to like this the best. This is something coming from a very, very genuine place of yours. It's kind of like, it's like how if you were writing like a diary entry, how if it's just like for you, between you, you would write that in a very authentic way because it's like for you and it's your narrative and it's how you're writing it. You're not thinking like, because it's a private diary entry, you wouldn't be thinking about how other people would judge that or perceive that, because it's like your diary, you know, you get to write what you want in there. It's about creatively expressing yourself in that way. And for some of you, you are going to be putting something out there. There may be something where some of you, this may be something where you're doing just between yourself, and you may not necessarily like publish or produce anything, but some of you, production is connected with this, and so there may be something that actually like becomes public in some way. But no matter what it is or like where this goes, because I'm not even getting that be the main point of this. This is more so like you're following inspired action, and it's time to water something that I feel like you haven't brought to the front yet. So this again is like, this is a seed that you know it's like ready to blossom if you would just plant it and water it. And so it's time to bring that to the front and actually do that. But it feels like something that's been like latent for you. So now you're bringing it to the front too. This is about seeing what happens and seeing where it goes. And some of you too, you could be putting a pause on something else in order to focus on this. I imagine too that with you spending time doing this, you may go into a bit of a like cocoon period in order to, I'm hearing something about testing this out, but it may be just to focus on this and see what it tells you. It's like taking paint and starting to make strokes on the canvas and see like what it's going to come out to be, rather than having this idea in your head of what it should be. It's sort of like letting this reveal itself to you. Some of you though, you're going to take a break from something in order to put focus on this, even if it means pulling back from something. But there can be feelings that you have about sort of switching things up in this way, but I'm getting this is what's being suggested for you right now. At the end of the day, you still obviously get to do what it is that you want. But this would be a feeling that you have where it's like it's time to be doing this. But I'm getting definitely some feelings associated with there may be thoughts that you feel like are potentially blocking you a little bit from approaching this. It feels like it's more so coming from a place of being worried about things, being worried about something, being worried mainly about being vulnerable in some way. Whether that's like about being seen, or about not having support, or about not having something that you need in some way, or you being like, if I express myself in this way, that means like people are going to see the real me, or that I'm showing the real me, even if it's just like between you and yourself. So there can be like feelings about that are coming up, but regardless, this is what I'm seeing be encouraged for you. So if you want to take a leap of faith, I'm seeing this definitely be what's being proposed here. This is helping you move through, I think, some more subconscious energy. It's this feeling that's associated and connected with the unknown. Like, what's that gonna mean? What's that gonna be? But I'm getting that your guides are saying that you're meant to focus just on the task at hand. It's not about like what it's going to be or what it's going to turn into or what that's going to mean. It's just like following this pure inspiration that you have and like just doing the thing and then seeing what happens. So rather than being like, if I do this, it needs to be that, or like, what's it going to be, and like concerning yourself with that, this is more so like letting the path unfold organically and you just being present. But there can be this fear, you see this. This is like, do I need to be worried? Do I need to protect myself because there are things unknown about this? So this is like all the stuff that you don't know, all of the unknowns. And this is you being like, my ego is feeling like it's coming through right now because I'm worried that there's unknown stuff here. So you may have some insecurities popping up that are connected with this. It can be feeling uncomfortable exploring the unknown. And that could have also been part of the reason why you shied away from this too. Or why you've been doing other things instead of this. You're definitely going to make something of this if you choose to go in this direction. Some of you, there's something about like a very particular type of self-expression that you would be doing. But you can also have like fears about that. I'm seeing a lot of creativity and I'm seeing like something mainly that would be being communicated. It's like feelings and emotions that would then be expressed. And because I'm seeing the King of Swords here, I guess it can be expressed really in any way. But some of you, it's specifically with the element of air. So this can be, it can be writing, it can be speaking, so it can be something like a podcast, or it can be like writing a book, or it could be writing newsletters. There are lots of different things that this could be, but it would be taking something that's felt and then expressing it in some way, and it would be watering that. And I'm seeing there be like a very creative edge that this would have. But I'm definitely getting this part of you that feels like my ego's saying this and like my core is saying this, and needing to get them on the same page. Because it feels like in a very subtle way, because, right, when the Five of Swords pops up, it's like these are reasonable fears that may be popping up, or reasonable worries that are popping up with, like, if I do this, I don't know what's going to happen, or this feels unfamiliar to me. But I'm seeing what you're going to be exploring is like your creative abilities that are connected with self-expression. And I'm seeing something that wants to be expressed already, like it's there. It's just waiting for you to water it. So this is about like mobilizing something within you that wants to be expressed already. So it's already there. You're just like giving it an avenue. You're giving it a pathway. So that's what I'm seeing is happening here. This is something that you want to do. This is something where it's like, if there were no fear of like judgment, or you already knew that this was going to be successful, or whatever else it is that you think you may want for this, or whatever would make the ego feel safe within this, you would be doing this already. It's like that type of thing. Organic. There would be, are already inspired to go in this direction. This is something that already resonates with you. It's just about giving this focus. And it's something that feels very raw as well. Like you would feel vulnerable within this because it feels very authentic to you. There can also be, so I'm seeing Pisces here too. So let's talk about this. To have Aquarius here, this can be something that you feel would be helpful. It would be connective. It could connect lots of different people. It may also know no bounds in that way too, where it's like this could reach across and resonate with lots of different people in a boundless type of way. You could see this being connected to the collective as well, To have strength here, this is something where you would be like showing up and expressing yourself, and you could show yourself in an authentic and creative way. Or something that feels like original to you. And then to have Pisces here, this can also include, it's some type of self-expression, but having this added energy of Pisces, it's like there can be pictures involved, there can be music involved, there can be expression that goes beyond words, or it can include words. Lots of different ways, but it's something that is like felt and comes from the heart, and that you're somehow just giving it a pathway to express itself. And creating something. So whatever this is that you're creating, it sort of gives a voice to what it is that you feel on a level. I think that there's a part of you too that's like, what if I walk through the door and nothing comes of this? Or like, what if I put my hope in this and I want it to turn into something and it doesn't? So I think that's part of the like what's stopping me, or why am I getting in my head. But all your guides are saying to do is just be present with this. You don't need it to be anything. You don't need to suggest what it should be. This is just tending to this in a present way and then seeing what happens because of that. So every time you find yourself trying to like control or manipulate what's going on, bring yourself back into the present moment and ask yourself what you feel inspired to do here, and take those steps. All right, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everyone for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I'm sending everybody love, and I hope to catch you guys next time.